Welcome to my view from outside. Today we're diving into a question that's as old as democracy itself. Why do churches, especially also in the US, hold so much power? We often hear about separation of church and state, but from tax exemptions to political endorsements, from TV preachers that are clearly right-hand, flying private jets, to entire voting blocks being shaped by religious belief. Something doesn't add up. Before we go on, just a short wish from my side. This is a new channel. I hope to grow and be a good source for people to get some deeper understanding of politics. You can help me to grow and reach more people by subscribing and clicking the like button. You're also very welcome to comment on the site. Thank you very much. And now, let's get on. It's a long history of religious authority. Religion has always influenced leadership. In ancient societies, spiritual, mystical people were often the first authorities. People used to turn to them to make sense of the sun, of the stars, of the rain, and to get personal problems solved or injuries healed. Out of this mystery grew power and finally hierarchy. Fast forward to the Roman Empire. Christianity went from a persecuted sect to state religion. Emperor Theodosius declared it official in 380 AD. That moment sealed a long-time marriage between faith and statecraft, where politics influenced churches and vice versa. Medieval wealth and political control. In the Middle Ages, the church was not just a religious force. It was a political and financial empire. Kings needed blessings from church rulers to be able to rule over their land. Churches and monasteries owned large properties. Bishops and archbishops were part of the government. The law of the Holy Roman Empire in Europe defined 3 archbishops who were members of the 7 electorate that chose any new emperor. Inheritance laws also helped. Only the eldest son could get the nobility title and the land. The others, they got clerical, the richest being bishops, abbots, and perhaps popes, bringing family wealth as gifts into the church. The US exemption, or not. When Europeans settled in the United States, America, after 1620 AD, many took this dangerous voyage over the ocean to escape religious persecution. They brought with them deep faith, and they built systems that favored their churches. Tax exemptions, legal protections, huge land holdings were some of them. Today, these privileges still remain. Churches don't have to pay taxes and don't have to report their donors. Some clearly political groups have even rebranded lately as churches to avoid oversight. The right-wing Family Research Council is just one recent example of that. Political mobilization and power. In the 2024 election, over 80% of white evangelicals voted for Donald Trump. Groups like the Faith and Freedom Coalition, spent over 60 million to mobilize voters in churches across the country. This isn't just about faith, it's about dominance and securing influence and privileges. Many churches today are more political machines than organizations that care about the physical or mental well-being of their members. And the IRS, it stays largely silent. Under the new administration, even more than before. The Johnson Amendment, a rule in the US tax code from 1954, prohibits all non-profit organizations, including the churches, from endorsing or opposing any political candidates. But reality shows otherwise. The rule is rarely enforced. The bond between churches and politics is too tight. Money rules. The prosperity gospel and the abuse of trust. While some churches serve the poor and live the teachings of their founders, others enrich their leaders. Tele-evangelists like Kenneth Copeland live in luxury, in large mansions and fly in private jets, funded by donations from everyday believers, although the tax code also forbids such use of church funds. They promise spiritual security in return for money, playing on people's fears and hopes while living in luxury. That's not faith. That's exploitation of people. A perfect match, churches and economic elites. It's no coincidence that religious leaders and billionaires often want the same things: less tax, more influence, and no interference of the government. But nonetheless, subsidies from the same public sector they want to be bound back. Their interests align, and so does their power. The alliance shapes politics that benefit the few wealthy and leave the rest of the people behind. My conclusion: the urgent need for separation of church and state. Religious freedom is a basic human right, but religious power without limits is a threat to social development and to democracy. To protect democracy, we need to finally establish the separation between state and church, not just in theory, but also in practice. This means that we should enforce laws demanding transparency and refusing to let faith become a cover-up for politics and profit. Some churches do good, and I would like to point out that the previous and current Pope of the Roman Catholic Church are men who lived in the teachings of Christ and supported the poor and people in need. Pope Leo XIV has gained reputation fighting against poverty, environmental damage, and injustice. But when any institution, religious or otherwise, gains too much unchecked power, it's the people who lose, financially, politically, and finally also their freedom. Thank you very much for watching my view from outside. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like and subscribe button. It will help others to find my content. I'd also like to hear from you. what you think. What's your take on this topic? Or is there anything else you think I should talk about? Let me know in my comments. And until then, we'll see us again next time. Goodbye.